Okay, ready for another strength yoga with weights class? I just forgot to bring my other additional weights in my water with me. All right, so again, heavy and a light. I got 3s and 5s. Those usually are pretty sufficient, especially if you're new to it. If you're new to it, you simply don't need weights to start off with. Some of the movements, if you're new to exercise, body weight's enough because your body weight is actually a weight, okay? So you don't need to actually add to it. Okay, of course you may need heavier weight depending on if you've been doing this with me for a while or not. So today I am actually going to use some of my notes so I can keep track of where I'm at today. I'm actually filming a lot today. So I am going to actually have you start in standing. As always, I'm going to turn and do things. You don't actually have to turn. You can, unless you need to, okay? So we're just going to stretch up, reach up. Of course, I'm listening to music as always in my ears. I can't play that. It can be any music that you want. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to keep in time or anything like that. Just music that you enjoy. For me, I've got Buddha Bar Radio on my Pandora. It keeps me under control. I usually listen to other music. So anyway, we're moving on. Hands to your heart. Set your intention. We will be back at the studio. All right. Maybe with masks on and still spaced, but that's okay. All right, here we go. Inhale, reach up, exhale, fold. And inhale, half lift. Exhale, walk or jump back, and you can drop to your knees if you need to, high to low. Inhale, up dog. You can hold here. I do engage my glutes. I stretch and move around and finding down dog. I like to incorporate stretches in with the movement versus that pause and child's pose and working our way into that. And feel free to pedal, to kick, to twist, to move. Inhale, push back. Exhale, walk or jump your feet to your hands. Inhale, half lift. Stick out the chest, out the tail, tuck the chin. Exhale, fold. Arms out to the side, moving through the half lift, contracting the shoulders, squeeze those cheeks, push the hips forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, walk or jump back, high to low. Now, even though I know I'm strong enough for my full push-up on my warm-up, I personally never do that. Finding down dog, because that's exactly what we're doing here. We're trying to warm up the body for the movements that are coming. Okay, requires a little bit of patience, but the body does appreciate going a bit slower. And inhale, push back. Exhale, walk or jump your feet to your hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Bringing the arms out to the side, moving through the half lift, contracting the shoulders, squeeze those cheeks, push the hips forward. Exhale, fold. Again, it's just the front of the body stretch. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, walk or jump back your high to low. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. And again, that paddling, that kicking, twisting. Yeah, it's depending on when you're starting in on this class. My house is always just a bit chilly, so it does take me a little bit longer to warm up. Inhale, push back. Exhale, walk or jump your feet to your hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, drop your hips. Inhale, Utkatasana. Pausing on the exhale. I'm going to turn. Inhale to standing. Exhale, side bend to the right. Or if you're going left, doesn't matter. Inhale to standing. Exhale, side bend left. Inhale to standing. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, walk or jump back your high to low. I still don't feel quite warm enough, so I'm going to stay on my knees, maybe a couple more passes. Inhale, your right leg up. Exhale, low lunge. So you're going to stay on the back toes, gauge the glutes. Interlace the hands back behind the back, so those glutes and those abs, the arm, the inhale help pull you up, and then exhale, release. You gotta do that slow to get in and out of that back bend. So there's a lot of balance challenge right there. Hands to the floor, stepping back, high to low. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, low lunge. Again, we're staying on the back toes. Engage the glutes. Interlace the hands back behind the back. Use those glutes, those abs to help pull you up. We're going slow. We got to go slow, and the glutes got to stay engaged to help you come out. Hands to the floor. Those glutes are about grounding and stability, okay? And strength, okay? Running through your vinyasa, high to low, and then down dog. Feeling free to paddle, to kick, to twist. Just stretching and feeling and moving around through that body. Inhale, push back. Exhale, walk or jump your feet to your hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, drop your hips. Inhale, Utkatasana. We pause on the exhale. Inhale to standing. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale to standing. Exhale, side bend left. Inhale to standing. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, walk or jump back your high to low. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, your right leg up. Exhale, low lunge, staying on the back toes. Engage the glutes, interlace the hands back behind the back, glutes, abs. Inhale, we come up, your back bend your own. Make sure those glutes and abs are engaged as you come out to help with stability. Hands to the floor, stepping back, high to low. Inhale, up dog, your cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, low lunge, again staying on the back toes, engaging the glutes, interlacing the hands back behind the back, glutes, abs, help pull you up. Glutes have got to stay engaged to help pull you out. Release the hands to the floor, high to low. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. And again, that paddle, the kick, the twist, if that's what you need. Inhale, push back. Exhale, walk or jump your feet to your hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, drop your hips. Inhale, Utkatasana, pausing on the exhale. Inhale to standing, exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale to standing, exhale, side bend left. Inhale to standing, exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, walk or jump back your high to low. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, your right leg up. Exhale, low lunge. Staying on the back toes, re-engage the glutes, interlace the hands back behind the back. Use those glutes, those abs to help pull you up. Glutes stay active to help you come out of that back bend. Hands to the floor, stepping back, high to low. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, low lunge, staying on the back toes. Re-engage the glutes, interlacing the hands back behind the back. Using those glutes, those abs to help pull you up. Again, the glutes stay active to help you come out of that back bend. Hands to the floor, stepping back, high to low. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Okay, so a lot of times I start you standing, but today we are going to come down to the knees. You're going to grab typically the heavier weight because those glutes are actually really, really strong. You're going to place it behind the left knee. We hug the weight. Now if you point the toes and the foot cramps, just simply flex the foot. Hands underneath the shoulders. We're going to bring that leg up. Again, we draw the belly in. We're not sagging in the shoulder. Make sure you push out of that shoulder. We inhale, find extension, and then exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale up, exhale, elbow to knee. So when we find that extension, make sure you push out of the arm, engage the upper back, the glutes, the abs, elbow to knee, and extend. Doesn't have to be a high lift. Some people are going to stop pretty low. Try not to drop those arms. Make sure that you come out, that it's strong. We do round. We find extension. We round, that's contraction of the front. We extend, that's contraction of the back. Last one. You're going to hold. You're going to take the right arm out towards the right side of the room. Again, trying not to sag. We push out of that shoulder. We bring the leg out. Bend your right arm, and then we just bring it center. Now again, the biggest thing here is making sure that your right leg is perpendicular to the floor. You're not sagging in the shoulder. You're not dropping that right shoulder. And we just have one more. Now, we're going to come back around. Right hand goes behind the head. Again, we're not sagging. Make sure you still push out. We bend at the elbow and press up. Now, careful with your forehead. It's not to drop to the floor, or it's not to bang your head. We're only doing 3. Last one. Inhale, we reach. Exhale. Hands and knees to the floor. Now, we're going to find an upper push-up position. Or, this is also an upper push-up position. And we lower all the way down. And now what we're going to do, first engage the glutes. Notice how that tenses up the legs. Feet stay on the floor. Legs stay on the floor. We lift up the torso. You're not looking forward. You need to tuck the chin, but you're not dropping the head down. You're going to bring the hands up, but you're going to bring the arms out, but alongside the body. You're going to roll the shoulders open. Don't look at my hands. As I tell you to don't look at my hands, you're going to look at my hands. Or look at my hands. I'm not doing this. A lot of people are going to try to do this movement. Watch my shoulders. I need you to open up. Arms are not right next to the body. They're just outside of the mat. Again, you're not looking forward. You got to tuck that chin to bring the ears over the shoulders. But again, you're not dropping the head down. The head position is really, really tricky, okay? Keeping those glutes engaged, drawing the belly in. Now, bending your knees, getting a hold of your feet. So let's say you can't do that. You can only grab one. Then just grab one. We're doing this twice. You can press yourself up if this is your option. If you do have both feet, try to bring those knees closer towards each other and use the strength of your legs to come on up. Glutes are still engaged. You're not looking forward. Take that gaze down just a bit. While the neck and head follow that extension, it's not past what the rest of the body is doing. And release. Now the legs are up in the air, gauging the glutes, lower abdominals, slide those shoulders down the back. Hands come underneath the shoulders, lower the legs. Inhale up through a cobra, but keep the thighs or the pelvis on the floor. Notice my arms are still bent. And then release. Inhale up. We're just going to do this one more time. And one more time. Up. Good. Now, you're going to curl the toes under. Gauge those glutes. Upper back's active because now you're going to push yourself up. So you need that stability, that strength first. And then find your down dog. Feeling free, again, to paddle, kick, twist. And then inhale, push back. Exhale, walk or jump your feet to your hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. All right, so you're going to grab weights if you're going to use weights. Inhale, left leg up. Now, when you get up there, re-engage the glutes. Let that pick your hands up off the floor. You're going to use those glutes, the abs, the upper back to pull you up into an airplane. And those glutes and abs help control you back down. Squeeze those cheeks to pull you up. And notice I'm not going all the way back down to my original position. Squeeze that left glute, that left leg, the abdominals, the upper back. We're just gonna do one more. Good, now you're gonna hold your airplane. Now notice I'm not parallel to the floor. You don't need to be parallel to the floor to be an airplane. Remember, airplanes have to take off, so they're not always parallel either. But what I want you to think about, engage the glutes, tense up the leg, upper back. Now let's say you're struggling with balance. Put the toe on the floor. It's still airplane, okay? Now, last one. Now, you're gonna fold back down into your standing splits. Weights go off to the side. Bring your left foot to meet the right. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, walk or jump back, high to low. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Now if you want to add a push-up in between, you can, whether that's toes, knees, partial. That's up to you. And now come back down to your knees. We're going to take that heavier weight, place it behind the right knee this time. And we hug that weight. We lift up the leg, extend the arm out. And again, we're not sagging in the arm. We push that arm out. We inhale, find length. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, find length. Remember, extending and finding contraction on the extensors. And as we flex forward, it's contraction on the flexors. Not as much as it is on the extensors. Remember, we want to get out of that elbow, and I totally didn't count what I did on the other side. That's all right. And again, we want to be strong in that right shoulder. Last one, we're going to hold here, bring the left arm out to the left, bring the right leg around to the right, bend that left arm, elbow. Now we're just going to bring it midline. That's it. Again, I'm not sagging in the shoulder. This is where a good portion of the work is happening. Of course, central core, upper back, low back, everything's working. Last one, bring it around. Left hand behind the head. Bend your right elbow. Straighten out the arm. Good, we just have one more. Keep engaging that right glute. And then release, hands and knees to the floor. The weight goes off to the side. Remember, this is your upper push-up position, whether that's from knees or toes, okay? And we just lower all the way down to the floor, and we're just gonna do all that all over again, okay? So we re-engage the glutes. Again, your legs will tense up, but keep them on the floor. Engage, lift up the torso, hands come up. And again, watch my shoulders. I'm opening up my shoulders, and as I roll those shoulders open, the shoulder blades go towards each other, and the chest opens up. Engage the glutes again. We're not looking forward. I know you got to figure out what I'm doing, but bring that head down just a bit. We want to take the crease out of the back of the neck. And now we're going to bend the knees. And again, if you grabbed the right knee first, now it's just the left leg. If you were the one that needed to do one leg at a time. If you had both legs, again, we're using the strength of the legs. And we do take the gaze slightly forward, but not to the front of the room. And release. Keep the legs up in the air, arms go out to the side. And hands go underneath the shoulders. We lower the legs. Inhale, up, and exhale down. And again, it's not about popping that pelvis off the floor. If you do pop the pelvis off the floor, at least keep the thighs on the floor, okay? And we're gonna hold right here. Curl the toes under. Again, we engage the glutes, the legs, draw the belly in, upper back, it's set. So you got all that tension going through the rest of the body. It's so you can push up through that push-up. And then find your down dog. Feeling free again to pedal, to kick, or twist. And then inhale, push back. Exhale, walk or jump your feet to your hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Gonna grab those weights again. Inhale, right leg up. We engage the glutes again. That's gonna pop you up and round you just a bit. So grab those weights if you're using them. Use that right glute, right leg, abs, upper back to help pull you up. And then back down. Now, this is incredibly hard. So this is why you need all the tension going through that right leg, the right glute, the abs, and that upper back's gotta activate to help pull us up. And then we just have one more. You're gonna hold your airplane and then move through a fly. So again, if this bothers the low back, trouble with balance, just drop the leg down. This is still a challenge for some people for balance. And even for me on certain days. And I don't know what those certain days are. They just expose themselves to be is all. Last one. And we're gonna fold back down into your standing splits. Bring your right foot to meet the left. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Now, this inhale, we're gonna come up on top of the tippy toes. Bend your knees. Drop your hips. Now, this might not be a move that's very comfortable or very available to some people. If that happens to be you, you don't have to be in this pose. You can just fold forward. This is just another option. Okay, I'm gonna turn to the side. Now again, we just don't wanna rely on our feet right here. We do draw the belly in, engage the glutes a little bit. Hands to the heart. And maybe this is where you're challenged. Maybe you wanna come up and the knees would go parallel. Maybe you wanna bring the arms up. Maybe you wanna interlace. Maybe you wanna interlace. It's just a way to pause and rest, okay? All right, now, hands back down to the floor. Inhale, lifting up the hips, straightening out the legs. Exhale, lower the heels and fold. Now, you're going to bend your knees, drop your hips, grab your weights if you're using them, lift up the torso. And then we're gonna come up and then back down. I'm gonna turn so you can see what I'm doing. Well, first of all, notice I don't have all the weight into my heels. Notice I'm not lifting up my toes, okay? Try to keep your whole foot today on the floor, okay? It is okay to do a squat with your whole foot on the floor, okay? So there's a concept called spreading the floor that I mention in almost every single video. It is an important concept to help with stability and why I need you to have equal weight throughout the foot. So you can't lift up your toes, you can't lift up your heels, so you know that you're centered. So that space that's in between your feet right now, I'm gonna cue out spreading the floor, pulling that space apart in between your feet. So you're gonna push the feet outward as you descend and ascend. It's not to roll out to the outer edge of the feet. Think about that big toe joint and the big toe, pushing outward to pull that space apart in between your feet. And you should feel the tightness. Now that spreading of the floor has to happen throughout the entire ascent and descent. Not spread the floor and then let it go and hope it kicks in. This is a conscious movement. We just have one more. This is a lot of squats today. And now fold. And now inhale, half lift. Exhale, walk or jump back, your high to low. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, your right leg up. Exhale, low lunge. You're gonna stay on the back toes. Grab your weights if you're gonna use them. Engage the glutes, abs first, because glutes, abs have now got to pick you up. They'd have to pick you up whether you had weights or not, okay? Now, I'm gonna bend the back leg. Now my weight's not in the back leg. You need to push forward. Notice how I'm pushing forward from my back toes, okay? So I'm gonna straighten out the legs, bend the knees, re-squeeze those cheeks to get you up and out. Now notice my torso. It's staying tall. I'm not trying to put my weights on the floor. Now, it doesn't mean that you couldn't lean over your front leg, but that's not what I'm doing today, okay? It's an intention, not that it's wrong or right, it's an intention. And I know my intention for this particular flow that I'm doing, okay? So re-squeeze that left butt cheek. This bothers your shoulders? You can just do bicep curls. Now, we're going to hold right here. Now I need to turn so you can rest that front leg if you need to. Okay, so notice I'm not on a balance beam. I've got hips width apart, so that middle of the kneecap not only lines up on second and third toe, it's got to line up on the hip bone. Same thing for back leg. Now, engage those glutes. My back leg is bent, okay? Now, re-squeeze those glutes. We're going to find an inhale. As you exhale, twist. Now, notice I'm not in a full twist. Re-engage the glutes, the abs to pull you up and out. Now, some of you may need to put the weight down. Notice I'm not bringing my knee in to meet my elbow. I'm not going to my full movement. I'm just taking it to the inside. Glutes, abs stay tight, lower abs anyway, and then they pull you out. Okay? Now, we just have one more. This is hard. Last one, inhale, up. Exhale, open up for triangle. Now, I'm simply putting my weights down for this particular one because it's a lot harder for the body to do this one. Now, we engage the glutes. My knee is not hyperextended with all the weight back into the farthest point of my heel. You need to pull that knee slightly forward, which means it's got to pull that pelvis under, and my weight is underneath the ankle bone, okay? Now, when I'm up, this is what it looks like. Re-engage the glutes. So when we engage the glutes and lift, glutes, abs stay tight. Now don't reach forward. This is the hard part. You can still keep that leg straight. If you have trouble with this, that means you need more muscular strength, okay? Now, re-engage the glutes, the abs to pick you up. Notice how high I'm coming. You've got to come this high to protect your lower back. Keep the glutes tight as you come into a revolved triangle. Re-engage glutes, glutes, abs. I've got to pick you up again. Notice how high I'm coming. We go back down, especially if you're new to this. Use those glutes, those abs to pull you up. And notice I needed to move my pelvis under the shoulders. Keep glutes, abs tight. So I'm going really slow for the people who have never seen this before. Now, if you're somebody, glutes, abs pick you up, who've been watching or doing my classes for years, you know how to do this. And you can go much faster until I get done with this, okay? So we move on to the other side. All right. Now, we just got one more. Again, glutes, abs, we've got to pull you up and out. Glutes, abs, control you down. Glutes, abs, pick you up. Hands to the waist. Pivot the toes around. Inhale, lift and open up. Exhale, fold forward. Again, I'm going to turn to the side for your prasarita. So it's your prasarita. You want to shift, you want to twist, you want to interlace the hands back behind the back. You need to get a drink, then get a drink. It's just simply, it's a rest point at this point. All right, so I'm doing a lot more talking. I need a lot more water, but don't think you don't need water if you're not thirsty. Take a sip and you might be surprised. All right, now, inhale, half lift. Exhale, grab your weights, hands onto the waist. Use those glutes, those abs to help pull you up. We're gonna heel toe those feet in a bit. Not too much, but not still wide. We're gonna rotate the toes out a bit. Don't force them out. We're gonna find your goddess squat, horse stance squat, sumo squat. I don't actually care what you call it. Now, if your foot is falling in, you may have your foot rotated too far out and you'll have to bring it in a bit, okay? If you're too wide, you're not gonna be able to find depth and you're gonna jam up the head of the femur up inside that hip socket, pinch it basically, okay? Now, knees on top of that ankle, inside of that knee on top of that ankle bone. Re-engage those glutes, you can find some depth. Dumbbells, if you're using them, on top of those shoulders. We find an inhale as we exhale, we go down. Now, notice I am not trying to get my elbow to my knee. I'm not trying to do this. That's too much rotation that you don't need. I am trying to keep you in that pane of glass, okay? Now, most of the time, elbow to the thigh is a matter of how deep that squat is, okay? Ugh. Here we go, last one. Come to center, use those glutes, those abs to straighten out the legs. Find your warrior two. Re-engage those glutes, and then we inhale, reach up. Exhale, keep those glutes tight as you go into extended side angle. It's not to rest, you're still strong. Re-engage the glutes to pull you up. Going back and forth. Okay. Getting there. Yeah. Keep those glutes, abs tight to control the torso down. Re-engage the glutes, those abs to pull you up. We're just gonna do one more. Re-engage. Inhale, reach, exhale. Hands to the floor. Stepping back. High to low. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, low lunge. Staying on the back toes. Re-engage those glutes. Glutes, abs have got to pick you up for this move. For crescent, and again, bend the back knee a little bit. It's not to shove all the weight into the back leg. We push that weight forward. It's this leg I'm working. Back leg is helping. We straighten out the legs, bend both knees. Squeeze those cheeks to get you up and out. So that back butt cheek actually stays tight just about the entire time. You just re-squeeze it to get you up and out. And I do get, if that back toe, you got a bunion, you got arthritis in that back toe, this one hurts, so you can find that spot that works for you. Last one, you're just gonna hold those arms up. So we're just gonna find an inhale as you exhale, twist. So notice I'm not coming to the outside. Re-squeeze those glutes to pull you up and out. Going back into it. Glutes, abs, pick you up. Good. And again, if you're on that balance beam, this is really, really hard to do. So this is already hard to do. You may have to drop to the back knee, but we're just gonna do one more. So inhale, up, we straighten out the legs. Exhale, open up. And again, because I dropped my weights for the other side, I'm gonna drop my weights for this side. Again, I'm gonna go slow for the people that are really unfamiliar with this. So I'm gonna face you though. All right, so again, pelvis isn't here for a reverse triangle. If it starts here, we're not shoving forward. Again, you can see how my knee is bent backwards this time. All the weight's in that back heel. I need to bring that knee into straight. Not bent, straight. It's hard to hold it there without the passive stability. So it's why you got to engage your glutes and have more muscular strength to support the lack of passive stability that's actually there, or that's not there, okay? So here we go. Inhale, reach up. Again, glutes, abs, try not to reach forward. It's a lot of tightness. Glutes, abs, I've got to pick you up. Notice I bring my hands to the heart. Notice how high I come so I can rotate up my shoulders. I go down. I come out of the rotation a bit. Glutes, abs have got to pick me up. And go down. Glutes, abs, up. And again, as I come out, my pelvis has got to come back up underneath me. As I go down, I'm not reaching forward, but my pelvis has readjusted for my shoulders and not overdone it. Glutes, abs, pick you up. Going back down. Glutes, abs, pick you up. And again, if you're familiar with this because you've done it with me, you can go much faster. Good. Use those glutes, those abs. Pick you up, rotate you around. This is the last one. Good. Again, as you come up, glutes, abs, pelvis comes under. And we bring the hands to the heart. We pivot around. Inhale, lift and open up. Exhale, folding forward. And again, you can shift around. You can rotate the toes out. I know, why do I walk away for this particular one and let you kind of figure this out on your own versus me telling you what to do? Well, because your body is telling you what to do. It's not wrong. It's unlikely you'd hurt yourself in this position. Maybe you want to interlace the hands back behind the back. Maybe you want to rotate your toes out, bend your knees, getting into adductors. Maybe you just want to hang there because you're like, oh my God, this feels so good. That's okay too. It's one of the reasons why I do that. And the fact that I need a drink and it's the perfect opportunity for me. All right, coming back to center. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, you're going to grab your weights, hands onto the waist. Use those glutes, those abs to help pull you up. We're going to bring it in a bit. Again, toes out just a bit. Find some depth. Re-engage those glutes. Dumbbells on those shoulders or like this, doesn't matter. Find an inhale as you exhale, side bend. Glutes, abs pick you up. Mainly abs because the glutes are already busy doing things. Again, it's not about elbow to knee. It's just recognizing what that end range of motion is for you, being in this particular side bend in that pane of glass. Last one, here we go. We're going to use those glutes, those abs to straighten out the legs. Find your warrior two. Re-engage the glutes, those abs, upper back. We inhale, reach up. Exhale, extended side angle. Again, we re-squeeze those glutes, those abs to get you up. Going back and forth. Glutes stay engaged. Lower abdominals stay engaged. We recontract them to get the torso up off that thigh. And we just have one more. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, hands to the floor, stepping back, running through a vinyasa, which is high to low, up dog to down dog. And then inhale, your right leg up. Exhale, we're going to swing through for pigeon. So once again, I spend a lot more time trying to get you to work from the center outward on your standing postures to work your core. All right, here we go. All right, so double pigeon, or not double pigeon, regular pigeon. We are going to bend the back leg. So you're going to find a particular point in front of that leg. I'm going to turn so you can see all these different angles. Okay, so I'm going to bend my back leg, reach around, find my foot or ankle. Let's say you can't do it from this position. You can sit that hip down, lean off to the side, get a hold of the foot either with your hand or a strap, push yourself back up, pull that heel closer, and you're going to rotate around towards the right. So you can get different portions of that quadricep hip flexor area. You might feel that all the way up through the neck. You can also explore taking the hand or the arm down to the floor, doing the exact same thing, okay? Because this back leg does play a role with that front leg because we've split them apart. So tightnesses are going to show up all over the place. Again, we're going to find length. We're going to walk out. Now, when we walk out, this is when people go, oh, I'm just going to sag in the shoulders and just dump and just hope it releases. First, find length. That doesn't actually happen really nice, okay? Now, I'm going to have you rotate to the left corner of your mat. Extend those hips back. We lean into the left forearm. We take the right arm and reach it for the left corner of the room to get into the side body. Now, let's say there is a stretch, but it's not letting go. Just bend the arm. You let go. And then stretch it back out, and you will find it probably releases. We're going to come back to center. We're going to take the left arm threaded underneath the right armpit. I'm simply coming out of it. You can stay into it. It's not about getting the hip and the shoulder to the floor. You may have to rock. It's depending on who you are. When I get into the twist, I feel a huge pull on the hip. And that feels nice. And it's going to go diagonal up through that shoulder, because that opposite shoulder to that hip work together, okay? So this is why you might feel a big tightness, okay? And then we come back to center, and then we find length, and you might find that this feels better being here, and maybe you can stretch those arms out a bit more. And then walking the hands back, curl your toes under, inhale your right leg up, bend the knee, open up the hip. If you practice a lot and you want to flip the dog, feel free to flip the dog and then come back around as you're ready. Inhale, left leg up, exhale, swing through for your pigeon. And again, we're going to get nice and tall. We're going to find that balance point with the left hand. Bend your right leg, reach around, find your foot or ankle. So remember, if you can't find it from the top, just lean back. Remember, everybody's got a strategy to get in based off of their mobility and rotate around. My way isn't the way you're supposed to do it. It's just available to me. And release. And begin to walk the hands out. And again, we want to find length through the spine that gives a bigger pull on the hip, deepens the stretch without you having to find depth, not sagging in the shoulders and just hanging off those passive structures. Rotate to the right. We lean into that right arm, extend the hips back, take left arm reaching for the left corner. And again, if there's a pull that's not letting go, a stretch that's not letting go, it means you need to let go of the stretch. And then go back into it. And it'll probably release. And then as you're ready, you take your left hand back to center, take your right arm underneath, thread it underneath the left armpit for the twist. And again, it's just a bigger, I feel that bigger pull on the hip. Let's say you feel pinching at the collarbones at either end. Come out, move back into it, and try it again. If it goes away, it's all you needed to do. If it doesn't go away, just come out of it and you can just come back to center. It's another stretch that has to be worked on. And we find length. Again, maybe you're able to stretch it out a bit more. And then begin to walk the hands back. We curl the toes under. Inhale, left leg up. We bend the knee and open up the hip. And then we come back to down dog. And coming down to the knees. Cross the ankles. Have a seat. I gotta get my strap. Oh, actually, let's do, grab your waist again. I just looked at the time. I really have quite a bit of time. All right, so you may have to double up on your weights. All right, so turn to the side. I did a different variation in the other strength yoga with weights video where I emphasized more knee extensors. We're gonna get nice and tall. Suck that belly button backwards. We lean back, and again, it's not too round. Activate the upper back. I'm not taking you so far back that I'm not doing roll-ups where you would actually roll and round the spine. Grab your weights and drawing the belly in, activating the upper back, and moving into bicep curls. Well, I have flows where I can get into biceps even more. It's always nice to hit it in making movements, big movements, right? And again, it's not here. Lift and open, draw the belly in. Your abs are working. You don't have to feel them burning in order to know that they're working. All you have to do, you can put the weight down, just feel it. They're tight, they're engaged. Burning just is an indication you've done, like, it's time to rest, actually. And last one, placing the weights down. Now we're just going to reach forward. Now let's say that you have to hunch over and and it's just really hard and you just can't get your feet. You can grab a strap, place it at your feet, and then pull. Just make your arms longer. Because it's not about getting here, it's about finding length, and that might pull you out of the stretch. Which is okay, because if you feel the stretch when you pull on those feet at the knees, behind the knees, and more on the calf, that just tells you that's where you need the stretch to help release your hamstrings, because your hamstrings have to cross the knee joint, the calf has to cross the knee joint, because that's how you bend your knee. And that's if you do a lot of sitting. This area is much tighter than this area, okay? Again, we sit nice and tall. You're gonna grab a weight this time. Again, we still draw the belly in. Again, it's not this. If that's what you're doing, take the dumbbell end to end and maybe open that up a bit. Maybe you try to pull it apart. We rotate, come back to center, rotate. Notice I'm not trying to rotate far. I'm just simply doing what my range of motion happens to be for this rotation with the additional weight. And again, with the knees bent, you're going to feel a lot more hip flexor work. Even though I did just stretch them, it's okay to work them some more. Okay. And just one more each side. And release. And once again, if you need that strap, leaning forward, pull the feet. It's not pushing my toes down, if that's what's available to you. It is about pulling the toes, the foot towards you, not smashing the toes down, okay? Because then that's where you're gonna get that stretch behind into the calves and behind the knees. And again, that's going to help release the hamstring at the knee attachment. It's innervated by a different nerve. So stretching upper hamstrings does not actually help this part of the hamstring. And release. All right, so we're going to take the legs out. And so let's say you get sucked under because not only tight hamstrings, but because there's actually an adductor muscle, because of its attachment very, very close to the hamstrings, is considered the fifth hamstring, and it's adductor magnus, and it will suck the pelvis under, okay? It's one of the reasons. So you do want to try to have the sacrum as close to perpendicular to the floor as possible, okay? Now, you can grab a block. This is my dog practically demolished my block. I think I saved it a bit. So I'm not sitting dead center on it. I'm sitting closer to the edge, because when you sit closer, those sits bones right up onto the edge, what that does is that helps give you some room so you can get the pelvis or that sacrum closer to being perpendicular to the floor, okay? Now, I personally don't need this, but you might need this. You can do this with a blanket. There's lots of things. Let's say you don't have anything with you today and you can't figure it out. Don't worry about it. Just get into the movement. because this in and of itself can be enough of a stretch. So we're just going to bring your right arm up or your left arm, it doesn't matter, and then we side bend, okay? We do want to try to engage the legs. It helps deepen the stretch without you having to find depth. I'm more interested in the side bend. You're still getting adductor stretching. I'm going to have you rotate around. Now, my foot's available to me, but that might not be available to you. So you might be more at the ankle, you might be more at the calf. And we're just, again, trying to get into that side body with all those side bends that I did in class or in the practice. So we come out of it. I know the temptation's to go center, I'm not ready yet, and we side bend. And you're gonna find one side has a different tightness above or below, it's just different. When I stretch my other side, it's more my rib cage. When I'm stretching here, it's more my waist area. I'm gonna rotate around. And again, my foot happens to be available that, again, might not be available for you. You may have to bring those hands around. And now we come to center. So again, if you're sucked under, it's not about trying to get your head to the floor. It's still about finding length. So you may have to put your hands back behind you, maybe on the legs. But once you round, you've missed what's actually restricting this movement. And it's real tough because we're conditioned to think, I've got to get to the floor. You got to get to where I'm at. No, you don't. Just find where your stretch is for you. And then we release, bring those legs in, and we lay on our back, hugging the knees in towards your chest. And again, you can get into happy baby if you want, but if you're letting the sacrum come off the floor, once again, you're going to miss that very thing. Press the sacrum down to the floor, and that might mean you have to let go of your feet. Maybe you have to come in behind and open those knees past the rib cage. This stretch is something different than what happy baby gets. So explore. Maybe you want to get into the adductors this way. But again, if you can't straighten out the legs and have a hold of your feet, just let go and do some overpressure on the inner thigh. It's not important that you have your hands on your feet. All right, bring your knees back in towards your chest. Hug your right knee in towards your chest as you send that left leg all the way out to the floor. Left hand to the outside of the right leg, extending your right arm out, palm is up, taking the knee across the body. And again, if you engage that left leg and actively twist, you can find a deeper stretch without having to find depth, where that depth of range of motion might not be available to you. And coming back to center, hugging both knees in towards the chest, wiggling those hips around a bit, hugging left knee in towards the chest as you send your right leg all the way out to the floor. Right hands to the outside of the left leg, extending left arm out and taking the knee across. And again, actively twist to the left, engage your right leg, and just notice how that changes the stretch. You still want to breathe. It's really tempting to get into a point of the stretch where you end up holding your breath. There are stretch techniques where you do hold your breath. Well, this is not what we're doing. And coming back to center, hugging the knees and towards the chest, wiggling those hips around a bit. Sending those legs all the way out. Now, if this bothers your lower back, straightening out the legs, you have a couple of options. You can bend those knees again, feet go a little bit wider, and just let the knees fall in towards each other. That was more of an extension type movement for the twist. So this would be your oppositional pose. But maybe you want soles of the feet touching, knees open. For Supta Baddha Konasana, you stay on the floor. Maybe it's not comfortable being on your back and you need to lie on your side. Maybe you want to, if there's space on your wall, or maybe just place the legs on the couch, up the couch, or legs up the wall. Or you have tons of options. It doesn't have to be flat on your back, basically, is what I'm saying. So just close your eyes and allow these next few moments to allow the mind and the body to acclimate to each other. Before either taking on the rest of the day, maybe you do this right before you went to bed. That's okay. I used to do this stuff right before I went to bed. It really helped me sleep. And again, any noise that you are potentially hearing, just allow that to take you into this meditation, this quietness. This grounding. Again, it's just some quiet. And beginning to bring awareness back to your breath and back to your body. Wiggling your toes and your fingers, the ankles, the wrists. And bringing your arms up overhead for that nice big stretch as you come back into your space. And hug your knees in towards your chest as you roll either to the right or to the left. And then coming up to a comfortable seated position, eyes are soft or closed to seal in your practice. Pausing your day to strengthen, to gain some flexibility, not just on the physical sense, but this overflows in the mental, the emotional, filling ourselves back up full of love and compassion and groundedness, so we can take on the rest of the day and share that with others who need it as well. So thank you for pausing your day and pushing play to have a practice with me today. Have a wonderful day. Namaste. So before you turn me off, I'm just going to show you what my puppies are doing. Hopefully we can see all those puppies asleep and being adorable.